Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today we'll be exploring Mega Goal 1.2. We'll focus on Unit 10, titled I Wonder What Happened. The session is called Listen and Discuss. I'm excited to guide you through this journey. We'll look at some interesting stories and practice listening and talking about what we hear. So let's get started and have a great time learning together. Let's take a closer look at what speculation really means. Essentially, it refers to the activity of guessing possible answers to a question without having enough information to be certain. It's like trying to solve a puzzle when some of the pieces are missing. Speculation often involves making educated guesses based on what we do know, but it's important to remember that we're not working with complete certainty. This is a common part of decision-making, especially in fields like finance or investing, where we often have to act with incomplete data. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how speculation plays a role in shaping our understanding and decisions, even when we don't have all the facts. Recognizing when we're speculating versus when we have solid evidence is key to making smarter choices. So, looking at this slide, we're exploring different possibilities of what could have happened in this situation. It might have been an advertisement, maybe a clever one designed to catch your attention. Or it could have been an accident. Things like this sometimes happen unexpectedly. It could also be related to a house, perhaps implying something happening around or involving a home. We also see the word accident again, which emphasizes that accidents are a common theme here, unexpected events that change everything. And then there's the train. This suggests a specific scenario, maybe involving a train accident or something related to transportation. Now the big question we're trying to answer is, what could have happened? It's a bit of a mystery, right? And to get a better idea, let's look at this picture. What can you see? Take a moment to observe the image carefully. What details stand out to you? What story do they tell? This kind of exercise, looking at pictures and asking ourselves what might have happened, is a great way to develop our skills in thinking critically and understanding different scenarios. It ties back to the overall theme of this presentation, which is about analyzing situations and understanding possible outcomes. Let's take a closer look at this scene. You can see a flat tire, which is often unexpected and can cause drivers to lose control. Fast driving is another key factor here. When we speed, our reaction time decreases, and small issues can quickly become serious problems. An accident can happen suddenly, especially if the driver isn't paying close attention or if conditions are risky. In the background, there's a bridge, which can sometimes be a tricky spot for drivers, narrow lanes, strong winds, or slippery surfaces. The road itself appears to be challenging, and the crash involving a truck shows how accidents can escalate quickly. Now, thinking about what could have happened, what do you think? Could the flat tire and fast driving have contributed to the crash? Or maybe the road conditions played a role. Let's look at the picture again. What do you see? Notice the position of the vehicles, the road, and the surroundings. It helps us understand how accidents happen and the importance of driving carefully, especially in challenging situations. Remember, staying alert and driving within safe limits can prevent many of these accidents from occurring. So let's take a closer look at this scene from a movie. Here, we see someone teasing a bull, which immediately suggests a sense of danger or risk. It's like a challenge, a kind of game where the person might be provoking the animal. This leads us into the idea of a competition, something that's often about testing strength or courage. Now think about what could have happened. Maybe the bull got angry, sensing the threat or annoyance. The scene shows a man and we wonder, what's his next move? Will he back off or will he push further? Looking at the picture, what do you see? Notice the tense body language of the man, perhaps the bull's alert stance. This picture really captures a moment of high stakes, where human bravery meets animal instinct. This scene ties into our overall theme about understanding risk, the importance of respecting nature, and recognizing the consequences of our actions. It's a vivid reminder that situations like this aren't just about entertainment. They teach us valuable lessons about caution and respect. So on this slide, we're looking at something from an outer planet, which sparks the imagination about what could be possible beyond our Earth. This is part of an experiment, an attempt to understand or perhaps recreate environments that are very different from what we're used to. What's really exciting here is the idea of a new design, a dome that acts as a protective environment. Inside this dome, we have a sky, trees, and a whole ecosystem trying to mimic a natural setting. It's like building a tiny world within our world, which could be essential for future space exploration or even colonization. Now, think about what could have happened if we managed to develop these kinds of habitats. Could we sustain life on other planets? Could we create new homes for humanity? It's a fascinating possibility. And if you look at the picture, what do you see? Notice the dome structure, the sky inside, probably simulated, and the trees. It's a snapshot of a controlled environment, a glimpse into how we might adapt to living on other planets. The key takeaway here is that by experimenting with these designs, we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, turning science fiction into potential reality. This connects directly to our overall theme of space exploration and innovative habitat solutions for the future. Let's take a closer look at some of these words. We have hurricane and tornado, which are both natural disasters that can cause a lot of damage. These events are powerful and unpredictable, and they remind us of how nature can sometimes be very destructive. Then we see natural disaster, a broad term that includes events like hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and earthquakes. These are things that happen without warning and can have serious consequences. Next, there's accident, which is usually something unplanned that causes harm or damage. For example, a car accident or a fire in a house. Speaking of which, we have car and house, representing common places where accidents can occur. Now the slide asks, it could have been, and what could have happened? These prompts encourage us to think about different scenarios, what might have caused damage or harm in various situations. Finally, there's look at the picture. What can you see? This invites us to observe and analyze the image carefully. What is happening here? What objects or damage do you notice? This helps us connect the words to real-life situations and understand the impact of these events. Overall, this slide emphasizes the importance of understanding different types of disasters and accidents, and it encourages us to think critically about what might happen and how we can stay safe. Let's take a closer look at this picture. What do you see here? First, there's a volcano, which is a mountain that erupts with lava and ash. Next, you can notice a fireball falling from the sky. That's like a big, fiery object coming down. Now, considering these elements, what could have caused this scene? It might be a sky event, like a meteor or something falling from above. Or maybe there's a hole in the land, indicating an eruption or impact. Or perhaps the land itself is changing because of this fiery object. The question is, what could have happened? Think about the possibilities. This picture invites us to explore different scenarios. What could cause a fireball to fall and create such a dramatic scene? Look at this picture carefully. What can you see? Notice the volcano, the fireball, and the landscape. All these elements tell a story of a powerful event, maybe an eruption or a meteor impact. This connects to our main theme of understanding natural phenomena and how they shape our environment. It encourages us to think about cause and effect and the incredible power of nature. Now, let's take a closer look at this advertisement for a new brand of glasses. As you can see, there's a focus on sunglasses, which are often associated with style and protection from the sun. Notice the image of the man wearing these sunglasses. He's looking confident and fashionable. The phrase, "it could have been," invites us to think about possibilities. What might have happened if someone chose a different accessory or made a different decision? It makes us consider how choosing the right sunglasses can change our look or even our mood. Then there's the question, what could have happened? Which encourages us to imagine different scenarios or outcomes, perhaps relating to how sunglasses can influence perceptions or experiences. Finally, the prompt, "look at the picture. What can you see?" is a great way to engage us in observation. It's about paying attention to details, understanding the context, and connecting visual cues to the message. Overall, this slide ties into the broader theme of how branding and visual appeal influence consumer choices, and how a simple accessory like sunglasses can have multiple implications: style, protection, confidence, and even imagination. All right, now let's move on to slide 10. Here, we see a series of numbers: 4, 6, 7, 2, 3, 1, 5. These numbers are actually prompts to match each sentence with the corresponding picture. The goal here is to connect each statement to the right visual, helping us understand how these elements relate to the overall message. It's a great way to test your understanding and reinforce the key concepts we've discussed so far. Remember, the pictures are visual representations of the ideas, so matching them correctly will deepen your grasp of the material. Take a moment to look at each sentence and picture carefully, and see how they align. This activity underscores the importance of making clear connections between concepts and visuals, which is crucial in effective communication. So, let's go through each one and see how they match up. When it comes to figuring out what might happen next, there are several ways to speculate about events. First, we can look at patterns, things that tend to repeat over time, and use them to make educated guesses about future outcomes. This involves analyzing historical data and trends to see what's likely to happen again. Another method is using logical reasoning. By examining the current situation and understanding how different factors are connected, we can predict possible developments. This helps us consider what makes sense given what we already know. We can also rely on expert judgment. Sometimes, insights from people who deeply understand the subject can give us valuable clues about upcoming events. Their experience and knowledge can help fill in gaps that data alone might leave. Additionally, simulation and modeling play a role. We create models of real-world scenarios and run hypothetical situations to see what outcomes might emerge. This approach allows us to test different possibilities without real-world risks. All these methods connect back to our overall goal: making informed guesses about the future based on available information. By combining these approaches, we improve our ability to anticipate what might happen next and prepare accordingly. So on September 23, 2003, an extraordinary event took place. You might be wondering, when did that happen? Well, it was the day when a meteorite struck a house. That's right, a meteorite hitting a home is a rare and fascinating event. In this case, the house belonged to Ray and Judy Fawcett. So what exactly happened to their house? It was hit by a meteorite, which caused quite a bit of damage and drew a lot of attention. Now, you might be asking, what is the title of this article? It's actually an article published in a newspaper, documenting this unusual incident. And if you look at the image here, labeled 03, it's likely a reference to the article or photo that accompanied the report. This story is a perfect example of how unexpected natural events can impact our lives in surprising ways. It also highlights the importance of staying informed about such extraordinary occurrences, especially as they relate to our broader understanding of space and natural phenomena. Now, let's take a closer look at some key vocabulary that will help us better understand the topic. First, debris refers to the remains of something that's been broken down or destroyed. Think of it as the leftover pieces after an event or impact. Next, we have penetrated, which means to pass into or through something. For instance, a meteorite can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere and sometimes even the ground. Moving on, terrific describes something that is very great or intense, often used to express excitement or admiration. It's a word that captures the magnitude or power of an event. Speaking of which, a meteorite is a space rock that falls to Earth. When it survives its journey through the atmosphere and lands, it becomes a meteorite, an exciting discovery for scientists and the media alike. Finally, a journal is simply a newspaper or a publication where news and stories are shared. Journals have been important sources of information for centuries, helping us document and understand events around us. All of these terms, debris, penetrated, terrific, meteorite, and journal, connect to our overall theme of understanding natural phenomena and how they are reported and studied. They help us paint a clearer picture of the impact space rocks can have and how we learn about them through various sources. Let's take a closer look at these statements. You'll notice that some are labeled false while others are true, and the phrases following them are quite varied. The key point here is understanding how we interpret these different modal expressions and qualifiers. For example, when we say could be or could have fallen, we're expressing possibility, but with different nuances. Could be suggests a present possibility, while could have fallen implies a past possibility. Similarly, might be and must have lost also reflect different levels of certainty and time frames. Recognizing these distinctions is crucial because they help us communicate our degree of certainty about an event or situation. Throughout our presentation, we've emphasized the importance of precise language in conveying our confidence levels, especially in analytical or investigative contexts. So, when you see these phrases, think about whether you're talking about something that might happen, could have happened, or definitely did happen, and choose your words accordingly. Now, let's take a closer look at some important words related to our topic. First, we have journal. This is a newspaper or a diary where events and observations are recorded. Next, we see the word penetrated, which means to pass into or through something. This is a key concept, especially when talking about objects like meteorites and debris. Moving on, terrific describes something very great or intense, often used to express excitement or admiration. Then there's meteorite, which is a space rock that falls to Earth. It's fascinating how these cosmic objects can reach our planet. Debris refers to the remains of something broken down or destroyed, like the fragments from a meteorite impact. Finally, we see the word penetrated again, emphasizing the idea of something passing through or into another object or surface. Now, the table at the bottom helps us connect these words with their meanings. The remains of something broken down matches with debris. A space rock falls to Earth is the definition of a meteorite. Very great or intense is what we mean by terrific, and pass into or through describes the action of penetrating. Understanding these words helps us better grasp the processes involved in meteorite impacts and the debris they create. It ties back to the overall theme of exploring space phenomena and their effects on Earth.